Teach your children that there are no conditions to love, that they need not worry about ever losing your love or God's, and that their own love, unconditionally shared, is the greatest gift they can give to the world. Teach them this, and you will have taught them greatly. Teach your children that being special does not mean being better, that claiming superiority over someone is not seeing them for who they really are, and that there is great healing in acknowledging mine is not a better way. Mine is merely another way. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there is nothing they cannot do, that the illusion of ignorance can be eradicated from the earth, and that all anyone really needs is to be given back to themselves by being reminded of who they really are. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach these things not with your words, but with your actions, not with discussion, but with demonstration. For it is not what you do that your children will emulate, but how you are that they will become.
We still at the Marcus Garvey week, may I tell you. We want to heal up IRFM for maintain the vibes of the Marcus Garvey tribute, which was held on Sunday gone. And we had a wonderful conversation, some wonderful luminaries of Marcus Garvey. We give thanks to that. So we want to continue the Marcus Garvey vibe still, you know. Yes. Inspirational, as we say, Marcus Garvey is a very inspirational person. Still maintain that power amongst us who know that him create a vibes we no other black man ever create, not before him or after him right now. And we say, without any apology, that the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, put together by Amy Jakes Garvey, is more relevant today to African people than the Bible. Yes, we have declared that non-apologetically. So we continue the journey. So you're already know, through the tell you say, we're going to continue the Marcus Garvey tribute for a portion of this program here, so we want to turn again to the life and lessons. Lesson 19, living for something. One of the ones I'm listening now, because as I say, Marcus Garvey is a great philosopher, and him have a little bit of everything for everyone, if you know themselves. Life is an important function. It was given for the purpose of expression. The flower expresses itself through the beauty of its bloom. The vine expresses itself through its rambling search in settling its own peculiar nature. The tree expresses itself in its smiling green leaves, shaking branches, and sometimes hanging fruits. The lark expresses itself in its laughter and song. The river expresses itself in its gentle meandering into the sea, and man expresses himself according to the idealistic visions of his nature. There's a scope for each life. Let yours find its scope and fully expresses itself. Man should have a purpose, and that purpose he should always keep in view, with the hope of achieving it in the fullest satisfaction to himself. Be not aimless, drifting and floating with the tide that doesn't go your way. To find your purpose, you must search yourself, and with the knowledge of what is good and what is bad, select your course, steering towards a particular object of your dream or desire. Never enter your life's journey without a program. Simpleton as you may be, you can have a program. No ship ever reaches port without a positive destination beforehand. Otherwise, it will drift on the mighty ocean to be overtaken by the storm or the ill wind that blows. The sensible captain goes to sea with a chart to map out his course so as to reach his harbor of safety. Your program is your charts through life. Everything you do it by method. Nothing succeeds continuously or repeatedly by chance. You may get success in a particular direction by accident, but it was chiefly because that accident was the correct method in achieving that particular thing. And you happen to have struck upon the right method by chance. But trying chances that way a second time may bring you failure, as it generally does. This is a very important message. This idea of chance. Because a man try a thing and it work, him feel good. As not that him know the method by which him get the thing that him do and it come out proper. It's by chance him do it. So him expect every time him do something it will come out. Even though it's by chance and not by a method. You know, it's like a man, a pull a thing, you know, yeah, it's a joke because, you know, sometimes you go through a bank door and you see it mark, pull, and you keep a push the door, and all you see the door now move, you know. And even though the sign in front of you say pull, you keep pushing until somebody will come out and push the door and nearly lick it out. But chance sometimes make you do something and it work. Not by the method, not by reading the sign. You just go upon it and you just decide so you're going to pull the door for once and it open. Next time when you come out now, you speak so you're going to push the door and you get mixed up. Marcus Garvey talk about not doing things by chance, but methodically work out, systematically work it out. And when you do that, you will find the formula to success. So now, to follow the correct method will give you the same result all the time. Therefore, make your life a methodical one. Rise at a certain hour, work up to a certain hour, retire at a certain hour. Do everything on time so that your entire system becomes methodical. If you have something to do and it ought to be done, do it with your proper method or system. Come again. If you have something to do and ought it to be done, do it with proper method or system to get the best result. Study it first, then go after doing it. If a thing is worthwhile doing, it is worthwhile doing well. How pitiful it is to see a man living without a program, without knowing how he's going to use his today's and his tomorrow's. If you follow him long enough, you will find him going down the ditch of failure because he has been traveling without a program. Observe the other man who has his program and see him go from one step to the next with success. If you have a program, you know what comes next. If you have none, you have to improvise one and then it is too late to do it properly. And so you fail. If you want to be 5,000 miles away in December and it costs $500 because you may be disappointed at the last moment. Start from January thinking about your trip, making arrangements for it so that when the time comes, you will be perfectly ready. Make this a practice in everything. Don't wait until time arrives. Think ahead. Always try to look through by calling upon your experience when you are looking to that future that is ahead of you. Analyze it. Arrange it to suit your needs so that when things come upon you, you will be ready. Don't let things come upon you suddenly. Marcus Mosiah Garvey talking about living for something and working in accordance with method. You know, some people say anal. You get anal, you do things same way all the while. But if it works, why not? Yes, if it works, why not? Why you go try a thing and through it work, you feel sad that you wait to do the thing. When it's an accident, make you buck up on the right thing. You don't want to be accidental. You want to be rational. And you think out the things. Too much of we don't think out things. That's why we get caught in a whole heap of other things that is not necessary. And we're bound to destroy ourselves. Now, it's a very important message that, because when we look, especially in the season of election, and we see where we're going with the people them, most of the Jamaican people them who have vote, I claim to them are going to vote, them not think out nothing. Them is not rational. It's like a little baby we are going to edge a cliff, or edge of the veranda, and don't know say danger lie ahead. Because them don't understand that if you go too far out, you go tip over and drop over the edge. And them no think. Them no look and say, well, walking that distance, and because them don't have the thinking, the experience of it. But guess what? We are not children. Those who's going to vote are not children. It's big people them. And we rise a whole heap of them people who are going to vote not thinking. And you see the thing with it now, I hear people say all the while say, watch out, you must vote, you know. Because if you don't vote, you don't have no argument. Well, you know, when me no vote, me have an argument. Because when you vote and something go wrong, you don't want to blame the people them who do the thing wrong. When me no vote and something go wrong, me blame the who do it. Check a JLP or check a PNP. When JLP do something wrong and they vote for JLP, you know, him no criticize JLP, most JLP. And vice versa. Most PNP people, when PNP do something wrong, them no criticize PNP. As a matter of fact, them criticize the opposite person and say, I him that started first. And I him that make that happen because him they do that when he didn't have power. Him now realize about the man who in power now is liable for what is happening. I don't vote. So anytime them do wrong, I criticize them at the highest level. I don't care. Because I never did vote for him. And so I don't want nobody tell me say if I don't vote, I don't have no argument. I have the argument. Because if something go wrong, it's not I vote to mean. It's you vote to mean. So you come go like now the thing no wrong. Because you find justification for wrong things. Wrong things. So we say, you have to think. And that is what really we need to do. We need to think. Think before we act. Don't be impulsive. Just do things randomly and expect, say, every time you do it randomly, you'll get the same result. It don't work that way. If you use a method to do the thing and the thing come out the proper way, you can use that method continuously. It's usually some man will turn on him light and not to the light switch at turn on, and not to the light at turn on. And him turn off back the switch and expect the light to turn on. It's almost like him feel say, him turn the switch the wrong way. And him, the light not come on and him keep a click and a click the switch. And maybe supposed to go over and screw in the bulb properly, like my bulb, you know. You know. But we realize a whole heap of people don't think rational, especially when it comes on to politics and religion. They don't think rational. There's no rational behavior in politics and religion. The two of them got together like hand in a gloves. And sometimes they put the gloves for them foot. It's a weird thing. How people become a different being when election time announced. That different being. You have some things with them do with them that never do normally. You have some things with them say with them that never say normally. And guess what? Them have the next 5 years to be able to see them way there. No, I always say the time election come round. Look on the people them who are swing on the bus them and have on the t-shirt them and a jump in at the coaster bus them and the van them and a blow the whatsoever and a make noise in the road. You see them same people there? 5 years time, them will do the same thing again, all over again. And them position and situation is the same. It not change. It not change at all. And them have an argument, say, yeah, I'm going to vote for JP, I'm going to vote for PV because my life bad. Me not get this and me not get that. But now, them can't get that chicken with a beer. Them can't get a free drive go which part of the meat not keep. I don't know how them going to manage now with the virtual thing. But as I said, the virtual thing don't make no difference I know because them a run up and down like quack, quack, pee, pee, quack, 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 quack. And now we see all ministers are quarantine themselves because them not mix with somebody else who have COVID. And them not check. See, all them whole heap of nice them a make on the road, all whole heap of ray, that community spread is something we have to go watch for now. Yes? Community spread. Some place where it would have never did do the normal. You go and hear say it there now. Because I hear the Prime Minister Ball out say, you have to go check the Garden, and you have to go check Avondale, and you have to go check all sorts of places we never hear, so you have to go check all the while. So the thing now, at this purse, it will go wider and wider up away. And with the boss, so I said, oh, you mean? I said, Jamaica this and Jamaica that. Look here, man. If you live in a glass house, don't throw a stone. And it don't finish. But we're not thinking. And that is the point. We're not thinking. We're not thinking. We are impulsive. So we go out there and I talk about a labor right, you know, and me a PNP, oh, this and that, and you tell the other one all sort of thing, and the other one tell you all sort of thing, and you know, go in a bar, and you know, profess no political affiliation, and ray, and uno party win, and guess what? It's when you get out the next morning, it's the same life when I live. When you have no water, when you can't pay the light bill, no house, and the guy promised, you know, you know so much I hear the Prime Minister talk since the thing. The only time I hear him that there was for COVID, you know, because that is imminent danger. But you so much things him to do now, he must tell you must look on 3 Mile. What the hell is that? Look on 3 Mile, that monstrosity with them call overhead bypass and all them something there. That is not something that I would look on and say, boy, progress make. Progress make where? Where is the progress? You must look on Agnes Park Road now and look on Canton Spring Road. Why, what is that? When you have 700,000 people still do have nowhere to live, them live on Gully side and Gully Bank. And then now them a give out key to house and then make you feel like that them a give the house. Like say them go in at them pocket and take out money and give the house. I say, well, all right now, me love you so much, you know. Me know say my bank account I go drop like that, maybe me can't afford another Benz, you know, but guess what? Me go give the house, yeah. No go so. A Jamaican people money. All them do a convert thing in some material thing and then say, they might give you a key to house and everything. They don't make, but black people fall for these things all the while. And me cannot go vent myself, you know, because it upset me when me say, black people, it's like you ever see a rat in a cage where them have this round thing and spin, and the rat has spin, and he say, I'm going to reach the top of the round thing, and all them have spin at the same ground part in the pan. Is that, you ever see a dog a run down a carrot, will get all in front time, and that the politicians them do it with all the while. And then them come every 4 years, 5 years. I say them want you vote because them going to do this for you and do this for you. You saw quick him put water. You saw quick him put water in the area there, man, and say, boy, I have 30 years me live no water never there, you know. You ever hear about the radio talk about at 30 years me live no water no there. See there, water come. Why them do this? Why them say so? Which school these people go to learn how to bandolo and weave around people them? That you look at it and I about me. You meet the people that see where I go out with them. And which school these politicians? They look like them have a private school where them go. But you tell a politician you have a private school where you go how to bamboozle people, how to build up them hopes. Especially when the election I come, make them vote, keep voting for you. And then when you have people about, but you know, so from the man come round and win election, and then from we give him a vote, you know, we don't see him come back around here tired, you know. And when the road want fix. And you say, but wait, you vote for the man, the man come around and come bamboozle you, and say the road want fix. And then when him come back, 4 years after him come back around here, you hear and them say, I remember what you said, no man, I'm never fix the road. I told me never get enough money in the council, this and the council that. Them give you some money there, but you don't know what we have to do this and that. That time film woman go buy car and film pit them gone to Howard University and all them something there. And when them sick him just fly out and go to Miami go hospital. Because some of them don't go to Jubilee. They never know which part Jubilee hospital there. So me I say, oh, we make this thing happen to you all the while. Me not understand it. It's like the person. The two of them are the same corruption, you know. All the person tell you, say, when you're dead, where we are going to happen. And him don't know nobody where dead and come back. Him don't know nobody where this. We make that happen to you all the while. There's a better life. Better life where? Where better life there? Oh, you know say you're not in heaven now. Oh, you know say you're not in heaven. Oh, you know say you're not in heaven. Because how you would sell me something now when we don't know about you, don't know about nobody know you will live, know about it. This heaven where them a preacher. You don't know nobody who go to heaven. You don't know nobody who go up there and come back to come tell you about it. The man who will tell you about it never go there yet. So how you know which part of heaven, how you know say no heaven you're in? And you go to hell, how you know say no hell you're in? If you do this, you go hell and this and hell under the earth and 10 times hotter than the sun. What kind of man is that? The sun is 93 million miles from the earth and it's so hot. And you tell me that something 10 times hotter than the earth and hotter than the sun under you and you know burn up that starch up the whole place. What kind of madness is that? How them get for circumvent truth and logics and reality and just sell we, just package it like a Christmas present and just say, take it. See them come back now with the next election now. 3 weeks ago, you know, them asked the Prime Minister when him thinking about call the election. You know, the Prime Minister say, him not thinking for no election. Hey, I hope I can find that tape there, you know. The Prime Minister say him not thinking for no election because them have the COVID for think for them. 3 weeks after, boom, him say election. You can't trust them people, the Rasta. I don't like I tell you, you know. Last month, them asked him about the election, and him say, well, I don't have time to think for the election now. We have to deal with the COVID thing and the economy kind of down and thing. I'm frightened when the man say, put on all them little joke business there, you know, put on Clarks and green this and, you know, and then you have some little youth now we want to have some little catch up beside politicians now. They might make music for them and, you know, I get money for it and them take the thing make a joke. None of the politicians now talk about where they going to do and policies and all them something, you know. It come like a little joke business now, you know. A dance and and before the election, they don't want to dance, keep 12 o'clock. They don't want to dance this, they don't want to dance that. And the tune of this and the music, them and that and the music, them and destroy the young people, them and all them something. Now they might use the music now for project. Oh, where it's where we come from. Where we come from. No, really, no. How can people do this thing to people and then people you keep doing the same thing, you know, same thing all the way to the people them. Them conditions don't get better. And you still make the man a suck you in so. Eh? You make the man just grab you in so and just hold you tight and just squeeze off your neck. And you don't realize it. You don't realize it after the 3rd of September and Christmas, you still have to buy say, me not have money for buying that, you know. I want some money and you know. And you're going to find some people that say, so what, Muta, well, you can't do for me. Eh? What? You know what them do? You know what them do? Them beg. Them beg. What them, no, it's a serious thing. It come like says black people is only black people do these things. Them beg what them need and buy what them want. That is what them do. Beg what them need and buy what them want. So the things them that make, what could make them life more meaningful with them family and who run them children, like school book and, you know, buy a nice computer for them child, say, go study this and this and that. Them go around, go beg that. You know what them buy now? Fingernail, whatsoever, to make them claim so them look better. You know what I say? I mean, I say, always stay some man. You mean, so I just saw you come make them twist you and turn you continuously all the days of your life. And then you talk about our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What is in heaven that is not being done on earth? Tell me that. Thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What is it that is being done in heaven that is not being done on earth? Because you see all war broke out in heaven too, you know. Michael the Archangel, the same white one where they put him foot, where the name, where the Governor General up on the insignia there. Michael the Archangel, war broke out in heaven. War broke out in heaven. You know, see, because people that say the argument say the devil it was a good angel and him start to fight against God and God run him out. Imagine God take that angel and run him up and put him on we as so now. And then tell we now say we must fall to Satan. Say we just kill him and done and get rid of him. Why God want to come corrupt me with something where him not like? And then when come start not like me. Where we get this thinking from, or we come to this conclusion that is such a thing go. This is the cutting edge on IRFM. Well, I mean, I tell you, so man, so many things are going on in the country. Education, they follow them politicians, you know. Tell you, man, the whole heap of people in last year. I think things don't get better. Education, like them up calling it kind of area. Get some more education. Jamaica land we love. Because of the lack of education. You're coming with the next election, I don't know why. Trying to catch the people with more lies. The whole country mess up. You don't have no eye. You're telling pure lie, you're telling pure lie, you're telling pure lie. Children gone to school, them really are trying. The books and uniform price them so high. Now them dip on street, a wet and a dry. Them really a try, them really a try, them really a try. Too much how we youth them just a die. Parents can't feed them, the picnic a cry. Now them a swallow drugs and a fly. And you know why, you know why, you know why. Everybody afraid of police, that no lie. People not trust the police, them know why. Cause every time you dead, you hear pure lie. And you know why, you know why, you know why. The people need opportunity, that no lie. Too much corruption, a run we drive. And if them come with promise, tell them bye-bye. Cause mothers are cry, children are die, I want to know why. Everyone life affected, that no lie. If you want things done, you have to get a blind. Now the suicide rate gone sky high. I want to know why, I want to know why, I want to know why. I know them will use this to tell you lie. Cause them love mix up artists but tell them not try. And if them use this song, you will know why. Cause the whole of them lie, the whole of them lie, the whole of them lie. No copy at this, no sell, I will know why. Cause when you talk, them weird, yeah, them think you're high. But I don't care a damn, me nah look no blind. Cause me still say them lie, me still say them lie, me still say them lie. Me still say them lie, me still say them lie.
Lack of education.
I think things will get better.
So you say
election a year, yeah?
We need to get some more education.
Jamaica
because of the lack of education.
You're coming with the next election, I don't know why. Trying to catch the people with more lie.
Chicken back, chicken back, chicken
The whole
back,
country
chicken
mess
back.
up. You don't have no eye. You're telling pure lie, you're telling pure lie, you're telling pure lie. Children gone to school, them really a try. The books and uniform price them so high. Now them dip on street, a wet and a dry. Them really a try, them really a try, them really a try. Too much how we youth them just a die.
What a senseless thing, man.
Parents can't feed them, the picnic a cry.
Gatwick Airport, Heathrow Airport.
Now them a swallow drugs and a fly. And you know why, you know why, you know why.
Hey, what's that now?
Everybody afraid of police, that no lie.
A serious one, that now.
People not trust the police, them know why.
Britain.
Them have to afraid.
Cause every time you dead, you hear pure lie.
What's that now?
And you know why, you know why, you know why. The people need opportunity, that no lie.
More jobs, man.
That's all.
Too much corruption, a run we drive.
Tap the phone. Tap it, tap it.
And if them come with promise, tell them bye-bye.
One, when I go.
Cause mothers are cry, children are die, I want to know why. Everyone life affected, that no lie.
All clean life though.
Everybody. them-
If you want things done, you have to get a blind.
Finsack. Custom officer.
Now the suicide rate gone sky high.
Domestic violence.
I want to know why, I want to know why, I want to know why. I know them will use this to tell you lie.
Right now, them election time, them will use it.
Cause them love mix up artists, but tell them not try.
Like a Chichiman. Chichiman.
And if them use this song, you will know why.
Chichiman.
Cause the whole of them lie, the whole of them lie, the whole of them lie. Hey, you bro. Trump say, if him lose the election, it means the election was rigged. Set him a set up some people, you know, him say, any him lose the election, it's rigged, them ring it. The Democrats rigged the election. So, I make you know, say, him nah go give up. If him ever find some lose, him nah go give up that the thing that's so some people at the White House are afraid. You know why them afraid? Because he's the president and him know all the secrets. And him have the orders that him can give the people them and them can't, you know, them train them people there, them now go against the order of the president. So inside as a worry, say if the man lose, them now get him out of the White House. Him go to prefer blow up the White House. Yeah, that's a serious thing. Anyway, I want the people to hear that news here, you know, it's a weird news is coming out of Lake Tahoe. For those of us who is artists and know, Lake Tahoe is a nice place, beautiful place. Well, the news coming out of Lake Tahoe is that you ever hear about the bubonic plague? The bubonic plague is a plague, them call it the Black Plague, where they in Europe we kill 75% of the population of Europe. I don't mean just one country, I mean in Europe. No people that are dead. Well, them find traces of the bubonic plague in a Lake Tahoe. Where them find somebody with it. When I say find somebody with it, like them lock it up in that jar. No. Them find somebody have the Black Plague in a Lake Tahoe. And them a try to figure out now what the hell is happening here now. Because apart from what them said 2 days now, them say the country, especially in California, record the hottest temperature ever in a California. 130 degrees and over. With fire blaze like what? Fire ablaze, them say every 6 minutes 1,000 acre gone. They can't stop it and still ablaze. Plus the corona, the coronavirus, I lick them hard, especially in California and Florida. And now if you hear about bubonic plague. Yes, you might get up tomorrow morning and hear about it. Them find traces of bubonic plague in a Lake Tahoe. Weird, man. It's weird. It's really weird. Meanwhile, the election is coming closer and closer. Closer and closer. Anyway, we have our own little thing going here, so. But you know, so sometimes when it affects America, people behave like America is the world, and even though it not going to affect we, or certain things not affect we make it start to affect we. You understand? So, here we go, we're reading from lesson 7. Marcus Garvey talking about character. Character. Men and women who want to be of use to themselves and humanity must have good character. Good character means that kind of behavior and demonstration of it that will meet with the moral precepts of a civilization. The standard that is laid down by the society of the time in which you live and which forms a part of and guides that very character. If you do not live up to it in the highest sense, you will not be respected by that society. Your mission in that society for useful work will fall to pieces. The greatest prop to character is honesty. Honesty is the best policy. Let no one believe that you are dishonest. If they believe you are dishonest, you are doomed and can never rise in any position of respect and trust except by some mere accident. You must live so clean that everybody can see the cleanliness of your life. Never let people believe you are a liar, but the contrary, let them believe you always speak the truth and live up to it. Any conduct that your community or society condemns, be careful not to violate the rule or law, because you will lose the respect of that community. Never borrow money except you intend to pay it back, and do it as quickly as you can. If you give excuses when you should be paying, those you are obligated to will think you are a trickster, and even though you subsequently pay them, they will be loath to trust you a second time. Even if you have to make sacrifices, pay your debt, because when you don't pay your debts, black people talk about it, and sooner or later, everybody in the community know about it, and you are ruined, which is true. Anytime people owe money and not pay it back, the whole community start know. And it was a secret between the person who lend the money and the person who borrow the money, But you see, if I tell a man, say, I go pay back him money, and you not pay him back, he's going to show you, say, watch out. When you give me back my money, and you see, even though you give him back the money, your name gone abroad already. It is a good policy to keep a good name and an honorable name. It is good credit. People will trust you on a good name. They will ask for the cash right on the spot and count it to the last farthing if your name is bad. People who trust you will always take money from you without counting it. When you have lost that much confidence, you are a marked object, and you may as well move from that town or city or community to start life afresh somewhere else where nobody knows you, where you may practice the highest principles and retrieve your name. Never move into a nearby nor adjoining community if you have lost your name. In the first place, go far away from it. No leader can hold his leadership who is dishonest. Garvey, let me tell you something. You should be living now for a year that saying you put that back on your throat immediately. This argument about no leadership. No leader can hold his leadership who is dishonest. Garvey, anywhere there, most of the leaders that we have here, so dishonest, like dishonest. I don't know what to describe them as. Nobody will follow him. Let your good character so shine that men will see it and talk of it. Morality is upheld everywhere in civilization. Don't be immoral in your community. Somebody will tell on you and expose you, and the homes of the community will be closed against you, and respectable people will shun you. If you have to be immoral because your nature is weak, then hide it. Keep it within closed doors and be sure nobody knows about it. So Marcus, even though Marcus Garvey has said this thing, Marcus Garvey knows say the idea is a nature thing, so he must say hide it. Don't make nobody know about it. If you read good books and think lofty, you will not be immoral. If you are intelligent, you will not be immoral, because immorality leads to disease, to pain, to suffering, and ultimately to premature death. An immoral person cannot find good company, because no good person wants to take the chance with immorality. So those who cater to your immorality must be people who have no character and who have nothing to lose. They must be either sick or diseased themselves and therefore don't care. No respectable woman or man who cares about his or her future is going to be indiscriminate, because that is taking chances. Therefore, when you find a person of immoral habits, it is someone who has lost all proportions of decency and health and sorry, I'm going to read that again. Therefore, when you find a person of immoral habits, it is someone who has lost all proportions of decency and health and doesn't care. Such a person is a social danger. Sensible people do not give themselves away for nothing. But sick people and diseased people take a drowning man, each catch a straw. Never be seen with these people in your community or a person of bad character. You will be roped in, and even though your character be good, it will also suffer because of your association with that person. If you have to keep company with the opposite sex, let your companionship be consistent and steadily with one person. Don't run around always with different people of the opposite sex. This does not mean that you must not associate socially with all the people of your class. It means if your name is to be linked up in the community as directly interested socially, let it be that one person, but don't run about with several. As a leader, never flirt or indicate that you are a flirt. Never try to make love to two persons in the same organization where both attend and you are a member at the same time. A fight will ensue and scandal will spread and you will lose your reputation. If you have no, if you have to speculate with your love, keep the parties far apart, at least in different communities. Well, that's GARVEY easy. I give advice, but not in the same town, because it would leak out and be whispered, and you would be called a bad person. That is Marcus Garvey attack, and this is the cutting edge. People give up them life for things that they don't know about. Because I hear some people that say we have some argument about we never give us say we are going to go to heaven when we're dead, and him don't want dead. And it is that every man must die, according to how them say death is. When you have no more life in your body, a man put you under the ground and burn you. Every man must find himself that way. And I know you have some religious people out there, I even my Rasta brushing them where I say, oh, when MUTA talk about, yes, that we are talking about death. This is inevitable. But what we do today will reflect on what we are remembered by in the future. So that's why we're talking about now character. What is your character? Character is what builds you. What people recognize in you and say, yes, this man here or this woman is living at a certain level. Character. And that is how gods are made. from character. That's how gods are made. The thing with our society is that a man will do good all his life and then him do one wrong and he's condemned for that wrong, even to death sometime. There's a man will live good and help the poor, feed the children in the community, and then him and his wife have something at the house and him kill her and you know same kind of prison for life or him go get hung or whatsoever. So we have to watch those things because character is something where comes at you and make you conscious of certain things that you will not do. Character. I want to say you have to build character. And especially people who put up themselves as leaders. And you can't say very much about these people that lead in way. Are leading the people, them, even though they're not supposed to lead you. We can't say much about them. Because them leave much to be desired in their way and how they live and how they deal with the affairs of the people. The affairs of the people. And what happened now is that they have indoctrinated so much, just like how they were indoctrinated when they were young in the schools and the university and the colleges. It's so the youth them come out now at the schools and the university and college and get indoctrinated too. So they become like the leaders who them would claim that them are old people and them left young people to now lead. But the young people them now is not coming with anything different because them they study the same way like all these old people study and them have to follow that pattern or design. Because anything outside of that seems to be irrational and not very proper or good. It is weird that they have created a generation on top of generation of subservient Negroes. And somehow we have to just straighten up yourself and just fly out of the box quick before them close the top of the box. Because slave can't free slave. Slave cannot free slave. Slave, like Harriet Tubman, that great woman, who them call Moses. She have to free herself first and recognize it, but if I free, I can't leave everybody down there, so I have to go and go free some more people. And she take the chance and the opportunity to go down back and draw them little by little by little by little to the north. Because she recognized that if one man is free and the others are not free, no man can truly say that he's free. Because the freedom of one dependent on the freedom of all. And that is what all people do understand. The freedom of one is dependent on the freedom of all. So when we say free man, we mean say, after we free ourselves, we must use that liberation and that freedom to look and free others. And don't use it to oppress others. And what we see is most leaders right now, in Africa and in this part of the world, is using them position to enslave us again. In Africa, there's no leader there that you can look on and say, yes, this one. Because all of them is as corrupt as the politician them are, so. And them is oppressing the people, sometimes even more than the white people them. These leaders, them carry out the slave master work much more than the slave master. The Malcolm X say, these house slaves, these house niggas, if master house are burned down, them say we house are burned down. Them not have nothing to do with the house, them not have no investment in the house. But the master house are burned down, them say master we house are burned down, master sick, him say we sick. It's amazing. It's amazing. But we have to wake up. We have to wake up. Stop sleep.
I don't think them never know, true them never know. Some of them are going like them blind. Some of them not come from the front line.
Yes, MUTA. Bless
Oh, you
you,
know.
man. Last year, you know?
Yeah, man, good time.
Yeah, man. You know, it's a continent out of Sligoville, you know?
Okay.
So, you know, I say. And I say, to the election where the Prime Minister called, I put a fire upon it, you know. I know why I put a conscious fire upon it. You see, all of them money there, what them having at the net as reserves, I think them should have pumped it in the health sector other than calling an election at this time.
So when the election come now, where them get money to do it?
Well, it must need money to really support the election campaign.
No, where I say, if them take the money now and put it in the election, when them all get the money when the election,
well,
if
it's
them,
not,
if,
it's
sorry,
not, it's not the matter of
if them take the money when them all do the election and put in the health sector now, when the election come then, where them all get the money from?
Well, I think the election should have put off here at least 3 years MUTA. And I
Then 4 years now you have no election.
Yes, but due to the pandemic of this coronavirus, I really think out of the realms of the spirit of it.
Oh, that's a different thing that.
Election.
I agree with you that, sir. Them shouldn't call no election a right or so now. A joke business.
So that's the I know that it.
No,
but only I say still, you know. I mean, they so go and keep the fire blazing in the motor. Right now, a piece of shellfish and a piece of roast coconut me have the fire red upon the system, you know.
You have burn the system or you have burn the fish?
I have burn the system. But I have current the mind with the ancestors' spiritual movement. You see what I say? So right now, I keep up the powers in a Jackson Sligoville. I am a continent. And me upon the fire right now. Red up.
And you are doing it. Alright, sir. Good talk.
So, and I say bless up, and I think the wiseness of the Prime Minister, him shouldn't call an election.
Yeah, man, you said that already, man. You said that already.
And I say put on clear on your guide, you see me? So,
yeah, man, give thanks.
Leave more vacant for your next caller. Still I say I?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, MUTA, oh God.
When they are cutting edge.
You know, a week from I try to call you, but the connection from Kingston to Ochi, I don't know what's the problem.
I don't watch me there.
Okay. From you mentioned the thing about Queen Victoria.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, I try to call you. I'm going to tell you that I agree with you. That these colonials need to come down.
Of course.
Because they're a reminder of the institution, you know, and really show who is really in charge still.
They're already have a terrible past.
Yeah, but you made a mistake because you mentioned John Hawkins. You mentioned the privateer John Hawkins.
St. Elizabeth.
Yeah, I linked John Hawkins with Queen Victoria. But
Elizabeth.
Yeah, it was Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, man, Elizabeth. Yeah, when we don't
yeah, man. And then, and Victoria was much later in the 19th century.
Yeah, man. You know, with I attack certain things, it come up quick by your dead. After you done the program, you realize, right.
Yeah. That's all right. But Queen Victoria, though, she was reigning when Paul Bogle led the Moran Day.
Yeah.
And Paul Bogle and some others wrote a letter to her. It was called an Underhill letter. I tell her about the problems in Jamaica, right? And you know what was the response, the reply? The people should work harder. The people should work harder. And this reply went in favor of Governor Eyre.
Yes.
So I'm saying, a woman like that, you know, that legacy, that tyrannical regime, I don't understand why our leaders still have that thing down. That thing need to come down.
Victoria Pierre.
Yes. I will know the history of that. Yeah, man, I will know the history. I will not making any actions. We don't take no step.
Well, a whole lot of people don't know it, so we have to make them aware, right? When them aware, right, they will realize what we have said, and then they will take action.
Yeah, man, and that is why I agree that history should be compulsory in every school.
History should be compulsory.
Yeah, man, from first form up to sixth form. Because
I agree with you.
Yeah, man, because history prepares us for the future, you know. It's for the future, you know, to prepare us. And if we don't learn, and if we don't learn from the history, then we're not going anywhere.
That man said.
Yeah, whether socially, economically, and politically.
People without knowledge of them histories like a tree without root.
Absolutely. Right? And this moral beating, the moral B and the labor rights of the 1930s is the last time black people actually unite, you know. There is no strong unification of black people since that, you know.
Well, PNP and united against the people then.
Yes. And the other day, you know, I'm shocked to know that a Christian party tried to legalize themselves and come into the system and have a manifesto with some whole heap of things where just sound like it just can't work.
Well, them to say them did have PR the debt.
No, man, but how we going to do it?
Christians have enough money, you know. Them not pay tax, you know. Them are the biggest money earner in Jamaica and foreign. And obviously the leader come from foreign. So I come here with billions, trillions. But you not turn back. I want to know him.
But I used to them pull out at the race. Why?
Yeah, man. Why they pull out? Maybe too much ring marrow, you know. PNP and JLP grip the people, them, you know. And them kind of unite to keep off other people. So, I don't know.
Okay. But boy, them have some things that sound really like, I don't know. Yeah, man. The next thing I want to touch
upon I like me, I would have got jail. I like me now. Yeah. Another party. Because theocracy, them are coming, you know, theocracy.
Yeah. The next thing I want to look on now is the X6 thing. What people think about. Yeah, man. It's a thing that you were on for a while, but you stopped talking about it.
The X6?
Yeah, man, but when we hear it say...
Yeah, well, them man.
The age of the man son till the youth.
Yeah, well, what about people hear that?
Yeah, man, and from that come out, nobody not talk about it again, it's dead. Right? I mean,
nobody not talk about it. Yeah, man, that's not talk about from them time, man.
Yeah, but from it come out there, from it come out there, the man son do the shooting. You know, you hear nothing about it again.
Yeah, man, you hear about it, man, but you hear about it at the time when it happened. The case closed, you know.
Okay.
When people that talk about the son and the father, what about people that say that? Only about people that say
Boy, the country gone, you know, because there's too much corruption in Jamaica. Too much corruption. And we need to read the corruption.
We have to talk to the Prime Minister.
Right? The government ministry, them, the police force, we need to get rid of corruption. Right? And this is what we want to hear about in the upcoming debates that come up. We want to hear about how plan to build the country.
Which debate?
Yeah, man, we want to hear how plan to build the country. We're going to build industry for export. We're going to improve healthcare. We're going to uplift education.
Brethren,
yeah,
living at a warp time zone, you know. You see when the politicians don't talk, it is going to be so grand and sweet. And you see the next day is business as usual. Because we live out this too much time now to think something different. We can't think nothing different now. It's the same thing. They're going to come with some sweet talk, and then the next day, back to normal. The corruption now going to end because they have a debate. Them now have a
but it's a new generation. It's a new generation.
But the new generation, brethren, the new generation reading the same book, go to the same school, and it start by the same politician then. the same politician them start to teach at university and them do the same thing. It's the same youth them all come back and do the same thing. Look how much youth in our politics now. You see the thing change? What changed since youth them coming there? All them youth are here in our politics. The thing change?
Yeah.
You have to have a total revolution. You know what I mean? Change. You don't change the man, you change the system. The system will change the man.
The only political revolution I see, when I read about as a youth, because I wasn't born then, but the only revolution I see in politics is the one in the 70s, where I see was a social revolution. But the youth now need to carry that torch there. We need an economic one right now. Money, Michael.
You have faith in the youth that will come up here now. The political youth them. Look at the Attorney General. A young man that you know. She's a young man, you know, the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Okay, you have faith in her. Because the whole justice system need vamping and start over. And she use a thinking that is so archaic in the ancient old days for come now accuse a group of people who have them things naturally. Come tell us now, John lies. In this modern time, a young woman said that, you know. How much you will? How much you will?
Yeah, man, it's not.
No, how much you will cheese? You know how much you will cheese?
No.
Okay. You know how much you will the Prime Minister is? None of them people don't reach 50, you know?
Yeah.
Them people don't reach 50 yet.
Yep.
And what them change since? You know, you man have both same big road down at 3 Mile.
Yep.
Then three road down at 3 Mile now. Me supposed to feel good about that.
No, but it's them duty. They are servants, you know. I don't know why they're the servants of the people.
Yeah, but we have feel good when they tell us that them your road. When they tell them you key for your own house. You think the Prime Minister give the house? You think the Prime Minister give people them the house? Poor people believe that, you know. Say, why the Prime Minister give you a house? A joke business.
Okay.
Joke business.
Them will say that is the responsibility of the Prime Minister.
Of course. Of course. And your money, you pay for get the house bill.
Sure.
You know? Anyway.
Alright, two more things, Muta. Thanks for the videos them on YouTube here. From what you mentioned, the video upload on YouTube.
What about video? You mean
yeah, man, some cutting edge. Yeah, man. Some more videos that upload on YouTube.
Them did a long time, man.
Yeah, man, I love watch them, man.
Alright, so give thanks.
Yeah, man. So, just take care now and make up yourself, yeah?
Alright, so take care of yourself too, you know. Don't go near the politician and them could have COVID. They might run up and with the people there. Yeah, don't go near there. You see, two of them gone go isolate themselves already. Yes.
Yes. Yes, Muta.
Yeah, man, I hear you, man.
Good night, Jamaica. What me I say now, you see, since as man I go vote this trip, you see, we have two new parties, the Alliance Party and Marcus Garvey Party. So me I beg Jamaica people.
Them have representatives in there. Go for election.
Yeah, but more the two Rasta like Brass Miguel and Rasta Black. More Jamaican people. No put more to expand the Rasta man them side, right? Listen here now.
No, hold on. Yeah. Miguel put up himself as for election.
No, the Marcus Garvey Party, who are the representatives?
No, me ask you if Miguel put up himself for election in this election where I come up.
No, you me really vote. Me no understand what this thing is about. You know so.
Okay. Well, him know it.
Asta Black in it.
Asta Black in it as a one-away man.
Yeah.
Don't actually
So anything
I want St. James.
So anything that's upon the voters list, the voters card we vote. We don't put the tick right against the Rastaman party.
You mean Asta Black?
Yeah.
But
So,
if I independent candidate, we don't think him about 6-yard man there, 50-yard man there.
Well, if we get 20 or 30 so people must should be against the Rastaman party.
All right. So you're going to go vote for him?
Well, I tell you the truth, promoter. He's a man just like you, know.
Yeah.
I don't vote for politician. I wear orange shirt and I wear green shirt. I buy my shirt them. Yes, I mean buy my shirt them.
So you wear blue shirt too. You know, wear black shirt.
Yeah, we wear enough colors, but as I say, we wear orange, we wear green. Right?
Okay.
And if you know Muta, remember so when I party, they color did red and they change it to orange. I mean say, I the red, green and gold this year, you know, one take piece I color sponsor side, and one take piece I color by next side.
Where I come from, really foolishness from both one and red, gold. Which one is the red, gold and green?
Well, Muta, you see orange?
What color that?
The deeper yellow, deeper color for yellow.
Orange,
yes.
Man.
No, Muta, go in the color book and look and you will see.
Alright, so them are red, gold and green there. Them are Rasta.
They feel Rasta man garments. Hold on, they feel Rasta man garments. One take piece and one take the orange. Hold on, Muta, another one.
They never wear no orange and no red garment for them take nothing, you know.
Muta, you think you want to touch on now, you see people matter about lights and John Joe.
You're talking about man.
Well, I know, I if you can't touch him, really from with you see people matter about lights and John Joe, Muta. They use their lights life and John Joe life. That means anywhere they go, they might look for it. Right?
Okay.
So when we want to know, we see in the heroes part, them a tamper with the little girl. And then when they see the principal, or the person for the Attorney General, they must sing out License John Joe. Then you see their License John Joe. So everywhere they go, they must look for their License John Joe.
Oh, where you come from?
Right? All right, when you come from, you remember you want to Mutabaruka David. I'm here on this year. Listen against the Muta. You want man in the parliament, that's going to one week. Right? That week, that's in the parliament.
Colonel Charles.
Yeah?
Colonel Charles.
But you want pass week, you want man talking about one week there, the wife.
Colonel Charles, him name.
Women no matter who, but that day week there, he go back every man's head. When because that week there, put the cockroach boil and eat it. You hear me, Sam? When because that week there, put the cockroach boil and eat it, he just find John Joe. And cockroach and that. Right?
Right, sir.
Listen here now.
Yeah.
Good. I hear something about God the other day. You see, if God is your father, Muta, you're supposed to be where you feel your father, not so?
Maybe.
Not maybe.
I know every man look like his father.
He's a black man. What that mean? He's a black man, right?
You mean
and then
color?
God, what Muta? That means a black man, you're a black man, and then God will put on the cross and answer your father. That means that God is a jacket God.
I don't know.
What I know is supposed to be your father, you know. He's supposed to be your father, not true.
But I know everything is saying his father.
Muta doesn't know. How can a black man take a white man be father?
Oh, you mean?
Tell me now.
Them black people don't take China for China baby.
Yeah? What I hear you? Why tell you about me don't hear you,
You say black people, black woman take China baby. Black woman can't have any kind of thing, you know.
Yes.
Okay.
What you say? Me must be my father. All right.
But I know every man look like them father.
You have to feel by your parents, they put the two persons who birth you.
No, sir, I don't know, so. You don't have to look like them.
Muta, what I don't know. If you see me, as my mother, you see picture of my mother, you can't be boy, deal with your mother, you know, man.
Brethren,
If you see the father,
me know what heap of people. When you see them and see them parents, you say, well, you don't look like your mother, you don't look like your father.
Muta.
And everybody look like the mother or father.
Look here now, man. If you see
Yeah.
all of my youth, them favor me.
Them favor you.
Of course.
Yeah. I want them for yours. Just look at them favor you. Just look at them favor you beside yours.
Well, I know. They feel me, they well, I know if they feel me, they close to me, though. Right? We don't blue eye, don't blue eye. I know mangoes here.
Okay,
Right,
sir. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Listen here now again.
Yes, sir.
I realize I'm going to scapegoat lie in this country here.
Scapegoat.
Right? Yes, scapegoat law. If I have scapegoat law, ape law, Attorney General could not take constant look up infant. I'm calling it infant, you know. I get to understand it's a little girl, you know, I relax, you know, and I get to understand that's when it's a woman. Right?
Yes,
so,
sir.
this woman, you know, why people, Muta, you know what time when the campaign go on your thing there. Listen here again, too. I'm going to put that Attorney General in a place. Listen, this Muta will not ask for it, right? I will not go here, right? Yeah, what thing we say, well, in my winter, right? So when that was the first one black child I hear about for passport for body, when I feel good. Okay. So no one the Attorney General the first time you see one here about certain part on our body. If she don't feel good.
All right, sir. Yeah. All right. Me gone now, you know.
You gone?
Yeah, man. All right.
All right. The fire get too hot, that's true.
Yeah, the fire hot, yes.
All right. I'm going to see time for somebody else.
Save somebody fire for the breadfruit. Save somebody fire for the breadfruit.
Yes, Muta, Mandingo.
What Mandingo?
What money?
Long time I don't hear you on the phone, man.
Yes, because to try
they must starve you.
Yes, because I would heap of money me spend a whole lot some of the time, and some of the time you're not taking a call, but even if they call now, hold on and not get through and thing, but give thanks and thing, you know. But just I remember Marcus Garvey, Bird Strong, you know, 133. Yes, you know, so great works, and you know the work I go on we actually push to have Marcus Garvey philosophy and opinions in the schools, you know what I mean? Because still have that as a compulsory textbook in the schools in Jamaica, and Marcus Garvey supposed to be Jamaica's first national hero, well known as
one paper.
Yes. And just want to say, you know, condolences to the family and friends, including myself as a friend of the great Council, a man who has done so much for Jamaican music, reggae music, who died on Sunday the 16th, the day before, you know. Yes, the great Count Shelley, you know. I mean, I'll be writing a tribute for him, you know, and so on. And he's a man was in his 80s, and like Owen Gray, who's also in his 80s, who was not for 7 years now, because, you know, all years nominate him for him to get an order of distinction, at least for his contribution to Jamaican music, as Owen Gray started in 1957 recording, but was before the Virgin, you know. So very, very sad, and this is why I and many others are vexed, you know, no longer argument, you know, vexed. Our foreigner, you know, David Radigan has been given order of distinction. Yes, you know, totally against that, and that's why there's a petition against that, you know, and I'll be writing to...
But don't you get IMB to remember the British Empire and not get one too? From England.
Yes, but that award that David Radigan got for either member of the British Empire or order of the British Empire, one of the two, is not for reggae music, you know. It's because of playing music for the British Armed Forces. It is what some people don't understand. Yes, it's nothing to do with reggae. He was music for the British Armed Forces. Absolutely nothing at all to do with reggae. And you know, I'm a support Ricky Chopper in agreeing with me publicly too, in saying that we have many Jamaicans who create the thing. I mentioned Point Grey and enough people, Pat Kelly, Delroy Wilson, you know, Wally people, Jackie Me too, you know, the genius and so, you know, so that campaign is on, and we find, you know, it's a slave mentality, as Marcus Garvey say, you know, we have some of our people in our African race, they do not respect them own people. I remember Marcus Garvey Jr. teaching us there at Kingston Technical, as, you know, we went to school at Technical where Marcus Jr. teach, you know, saying that always notice whereby some of our African people, they don't respect them own African people who do things, but they are always willing with a slave mentality to want to give things to foreigners.
No, but really, hold on, Mandingo. To be fair to still, you know, most of the people that get the award are black Jamaican people. And I like to say them get awarded by white people. Me not say Radigan supposed to get it, you know. Me not say Radigan supposed to get it, but I say that when you say they don't respect black Jamaican people, the majority of people who get the award are black Jamaican people who get it.
Yes, yeah. I know what you mean, but that's not what I mean when I am saying that, you know, I'm talking generally. Okay. I think I would have wanted that. Yeah. No. It is there's a mentality syndrome then, whereby you find some of our people, then we cheer for Tarzan, but not for our own people. Not talking different people, you know. Like, in fact, where you talk about and play programs all about all the while, whereby them imagery, their mentality is and whether male or female as a savior. In other words, something is not good, something is not valid unless it's so-called validated by some
white people.
You know, that general thing. Yeah, exactly.
With I and I culture. If white people don't validate the culture in Africa, black people don't really want to get involved with it. You know, they don't want to get involved.
Exactly. And as you and I know, you hear them say, oh, we know too black, you know, you know, because of the slave mentality, they feel that they must have some European involved somewhere, somehow. In organizations, that's why they fight against self-reliance, you know. And yet self-reliance is the only way that African people can be free. Because until we rely on ourselves in politics, in economics, and otherwise, we will never be free. Every other race of people know that they have to rely on their own efforts to be free. So
you have a brother named
the slave mentality fight against those who have a slave mentality. They fight against us who have an independent Marcus Garvey mentality of doing things for ourselves. Yes, and the
you have a brother named Neely Fuller.
Yes, Neely Fuller.
Get study after. And Neely Fuller talk about white supremacy, where it cover every aspect of our life, white supremacy covered. Now it's very difficult to tell a black man, it's very difficult to tell a black person, say, the 10 basic principles of life, how it functions in the world, it's function based on half of those principles that come from white people. Very difficult to tell them that. You know, and Christian come to it.
Yes, it's a serious problem, and this is why the question of, in terms of our identity and that type of thing, the mentality. That is why you and I have problems when we're trying to show Africans who are Africans that they are Africans. Racial identity. It's only in our race that you find people deny that them African, you know.
Oh, we, of course.
People proud to be Indian, Chinese, and thing, you know.
Yeah, man.
You know.
It's all quick them to take, it's all quick them. They're ready to tell them, say, the woman there, Harris, is a Jamaican woman. When she don't want to talk about her Jamaican, she can call her Asian American. And she said she's an American because she's born in California. And the Jamaican, them not going, where's this who's a Jamaican president? She don't need nothing with Jamaica. She's an American, she said, you know.
But listen, but she's totally right. Her mother is a Tamil Indian, a Tamil from India. Her father is the one. Incidentally, her father went to teach field school with my cousins Douglas and Ivy, right? But her father is from Jamaica, but her mother is Tamil Indian, and she born in the States. And her son is a European. She don't business.
She make no reference to her father. No time she talk to mention reference to her father. She always talk about her mother.
Exactly.
Now watch her video today where she do a cooking thing and it's her mother she talk straight. So all them Jamaican people will jump up and down the place and talk about, yes, see the Jamaica. She don't have no connection in herself with both Jamaica. She's an American, she said. She said she's an American. Exactly. You know, I hear some stupid Jamaicans, because you know we have some stupid Jamaicans say, oh, exactly. You know, I hear some stupid Jamaicans, because you know we have some stupid Jamaicans say, oh, want Kamala Harris to win because these are the free up. Jordan. I like to listen to Obama too. But want Kamala Harris to win because she a Jamaican and she have a free up visa for me. You see them falling into the same trap with it going on with Barack Obama. Barack Obama, of course. Same thing, and again, you see, just where you say that she talk only about her Indian mother. You see, me Barack Obama, he might decide to see him mother European race, you know. Despite the right of him mother European race, he never be raised with him African father side, you know. And this is what happened in this mixed race business. Yes. Yeah, confused everything. And you know, one of the things, Muta, that I said to some people, okay, we know that Trump is a racist. You don't want Trump. But the mistake I said to them that you must not make, you must have an agenda of a list of demands and say to Kamala Harris, if you and Biden want our vote, this is what we want in return to our vote. You know what our people say? Who politically stupid? No. We don't have to ask her for anything. We just want to get rid of Trump. I say, how stupid can you be? Yeah, but most of the people, what them call it, when them tell you how much percentage this or that, most of the people them say, them is not that them voting for Biden, you know, them voting against Trump. That is what most of them say. In the polls. Most of them say it's not that we're voting.
Yes, them voting against Trump.
Them voting against Trump. So them do have not, let's say, if you do. You know, I mean...
But you see the stupidity of that? You can, in voting against Trump, if you are intelligent, you're supposed to vote against Trump and demand what you have your own agenda and self-interest for yourself from those who are opposed to Trump, which in this case is Biden and Kamala. But people are so stupid and fool. Them just want to get rid of Trump and get nothing in return. Not realizing that Democrat and Republican are opposite sides of the same kind, where African people concerned, as Malcolm X said, there's no difference between Democrats and Republicans where we Africans concerned. Because the foreign policy is always the same. Democrats and Republicans have racist economic sanctions against Zimbabwe.
But remember, saying Democrats first was against black people in America, you know. This was a Democratic Party first. Was against them.
Yes. And remember, he's a Republican president in the case of Abraham Lincoln, who, as a strategic move, say, oh yes, we will agree emancipation because he needed the help of our people in the war against the South.
Just like Biden, you know.
People
come on, that's a good way to grab the Hispanics and the black people, them and the woman, them vote. It's a strategic move it make. Serious strategic move. To pick Kamala.
Serious strategic move. Yes, Joe Biden, yes. Because there were other candidates, you know. But
no, she's the one.
Kamala. Yes, true. You know?
Yeah, man, that's a serious thing. But anyway, we're going to England, you know. No. We're going to England.
Well, where we are going to England is that the Boris Johnson regime, them just don't have a clue. Right now, for example, students have to be protesting because instead of them set up gymnasiums or stadiums where students could take them exams, GCSE exams and so on, we get some algorithm things to give the students them results which don't grade the results of the students and things. And so students' academic future have been destroyed by this type of thing because there's no substitute. Exams are necessary. You can't depend on algorithms to mark them. They should do like what they do in Germany. After exams in like in museums or theaters. This is what they do in Germany. Exams are absolutely necessary. And our children are the ones who have been most affected by not being able to go to school too. So we see how the institutional racism, the coronavirus business, lockdown, make things even worse and worse for our people. You know, and the next thing that people complaining about, Jamaica National, for example, still refusing to take cash. And a lot of people want to send money to the people in Jamaica. They're only taking cards. From March, no man, they're trying to force people to use cards and that type of thing, a so-called cashless society. And that's how we have controlling people and stealing people's money. And people must put pressure on Jamaica National and others to take cash. And some elderly people don't deal with card and that type of thing. You know that to MUTA. You know what I mean?
Well, I see with the computer.
And you buy food.
Them I tell poor people now, say, to do certain things, you have to do it online. If you're 6 years, well, not me, but I'm not to use it. But if you're 8 years old or 7 years old, you have to people them go use online, banking online.
Most people are elders also not computer literate and know about
and them too old to be computer literate again.
People right.
Yeah, them can't be computer literate again at 80 years old. Yeah.
Exactly. No, man, it's discrimination, both online. It's not online. Them want to put people on the fear line. Yes, I feel them we are putting people on the fear line, man. It's wicked, man. Jamaica National in Britain, people are complaining. They must take cash from the people, and when people complain to them, all them say, oh yes, yes, we hear your complaints, we hear your complaints. There's absolutely no excuse. It's not everybody deal with cash. It is causing great hardship. Jamaica National and all of that calling you out. You must
Jamaica National in England.
Eh?
Remember about Jamaica National in England.
Yes, man, 2 years, man. Them have branches all over, man. Brixton, Elephant, Castle in London, Birmingham, all over, a lot of outlets. Yes.
Okay.
A lot of outlets. And a lot of people, you know, it's causing great thing, you know, people depending on getting money and people have the money and not being allowed to send because it's my card. One of the Jamaica national managers, when I was representing on behalf of people, said, well, they can get somebody, they can send it using somebody else's card. Well, people don't want to know them business.
No, right.
People you don't want people to know your business because you have your own money. But you must ask them to use somebody's card to send your money. You don't want people to know your business. That's damn out of order.
Of course it is.
You must set up a account. MUTA, you know this. Is that everybody have bank account, you know? Just like everybody have a passport, you know.
Most African people have a
bank account. Or because you do have a passport, you must suffer. Eh?
Yeah.
No, man. That's wicked. So that is the cry of people here to MUTA, in addition to the 1 year of schooling that has deprived our African children, you know, of thing. And then the racism still go on. So them stop Don Butler MP in Brent the other day, Shana Mail Company and a drive. Racist police stop because them driving a nice car. And of course they're making excuse about it's a mistake and so.
I don't know why them say a mistake.
We run for the then stop the other day. So the racism still continues.
You know, you hear say Edmund sue Donald Trump for $100 million for using Electric Avenue in a when call it in propaganda thing.
In a campaign.
Yeah, use Electric Avenue. Thomas for $100 million.
100 million. It should be
for $100 million.
It should have sued him for $100 billion. Dear fierce racism of Donald Trump. Fighting fierce racism of Donald Trump. Fighting
I'm calling them to it. I know it personally, but I feel fighting party.
Yes. But his colleagues are racist just like him, you know, it's the same thing. That kind of situation. Yes, I said love. It's like how them used to use our reggae tune them in Jamaica to politicians, you know, the artists them permission. Remember them days?
Well, the latest you know that the artists them have volunteer to make them use them song. And only by the artists them now make song where they call it dub them for the politician them. You know hear about it?
No, hear about it. Me hear about it. Song by Spice. from
Yeah, that around the thing, I know.
the lease
Get money from the party them. A joke business,
yes,
well, we can't learn, but we can't learn.
originally, in the 70s and so on.
Yeah, classics and them man, they used to make songs. Remember classics used to sing songs from Manley?
Yeah, Clancy, he was a diehard PNP artist.
PNP, yeah.
He used to do that.
Yeah, so...
And then Ernest Smith had to run away because he make a tune, about Jack Kingdom Ghana Waste.
Yes.
That type of thing. So, that was centering and so. But the artists, them in those times, overwhelmingly, never willingly.
No, definitely not. My river that Babylon, he is the man.
Some of these artists are that them do.
Yeah. Eat a food. More food.
But finally, Muta, I don't think election should have called in this kind of...
No. But to the same last month, them asked him, when the election, he said him not have the election by the mind because of where I'm going. And then this month, them call election. You can't trust them people there. Last month, the man talk about no election, And this month, you come here election.
He said no election when he was asked.
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, the 3rd of September, one day before my father's birthday anniversary. No man, there's no, because remember, with elections you have to have campaign. But no campaign can't go on in a coronavirus pandemic.
That's how you think. That's how you think. You are, so we are going down here. A big accident going on at South Cambodia, that terrible accident. Motorcade. Yeah, watch your man. The people up there on the road, You see all that thing where them a blow up? Where them a blow them spitting and it a come out the other way, where it a go far than 6 feet. That terrible thing. Yes. Because people are talking about masks, but them a blow through the something. You see that when them blow through, it a go, the speckle them a go far than 6 feet. When them don't blow up. And I'm blowing out what I did that feel and sometimes. A madness.
Total madness. Total madness. Totally.
Give thanks.
All right then, take care and we have to just keep fighting as Marcus Garvey.
We're not stop. I will like this,